Duke's JT Giles Harris defends against Maryland's Connor Kelly during the second half of Saturday's national semifinal in Foxborough, Mass. Michael Dwyer, Associated Press. Foxborough, Mass. Junior defenseman Curtis Corley had cleaned up and changed into a black Maryland polo by the time members of the Terrapins men's lacrosse team and coach John Tillman walked out of the locker room to meet with reporters, but senior Connor Kelly kept his jersey on. Kelly sat next to Tillman, sweaty and bruised, and spoke with a thick voice as he took partial blame for top-seeded Maryland's 13-8 loss to Duke in the national semifinals. The Tewaaraton Award finalist said he took too many costly shots and had too many costly turnovers. But in truth, the Terps' bid for a fourth consecutive appearance in the NCAA title game was over in the first 18 minutes Saturday afternoon when the Blue Devils took a 6-0 lead at Gillette Stadium, and it had little to do with Kelly. "We had a tough time getting our feet under us," Tillman said, "and they made us pay." The defending champions had returned to Foxborough hoping to recapture some of the magic that had propelled Maryland to its first national title in 42s last year on this same turf. Instead, the Terps 14-4 bent to the will of a powerful, lightning-fast Duke team led by a senior attackman on a mission and two freshmen peaking at the right time. The fourth-seeded Blue Devils 16-3, in the national semifinals for the first time since 2014, will play number 3 seed Yale on Monday for the national title. The Bulldogs 16-3 beat second-seeded Albany, 22-11, in the other semifinal. Duke, which beat the Terps for the second time in the past 8 tries, never trailed. The Blue Devils grabbed control of the game from the start, found mismatches early against Maryland's young cadre of short-stick defensive midfielders and blitzed fifth-year senior goalie Dan Morris en route to a 6-0 edge. At first, the Blue Devils had such a stranglehold that star attack Justin Gutterding wasn't needed, for Duke midfielders and freshman attack Joe Robertson did the heavy lifting. Freshman midfielder Naki Montgomery had notched his third multi-goal game of the postseason after just 17 minutes. He had a hat-trick after just more than 23. "It's obviously a sting, but I felt like we came back. We fought, we stuck to our game plan," said Corley, whose defensive unit looked just a step behind early. "We got great efforts out of our seniors. It's just a little tough to see them like this right now." Gutterding made his appearance soon enough and ended up leading Duke with 3 goals and 3 assists. Robertson was the third Blue Devils player to notch a hat-trick. "He's a really good dodger," Corley said of Gutterding, "so he draws a lot of attention." Maryland came to life in the second quarter to score 5 goals, 4 of which were from close range and 2 of which came from redshirt freshman Logan Wisnauskas. A final goal before the end of the period from fifth-year senior Tim Rotans sent the Terps into the locker room with a shot of momentum, trailing 8-5. They emerged with a tighter defense and an offense that had settled in. A pair of quick goals from Kelly and freshman sensation Bubba Fairman trimmed the Blue Devils' lead to 8-7. Kelly's goal, along with his 3 assists, helped him become just the third player in Maryland history to tally at least 80 points in A, joining Ray Altman in 1963 and Matt Rambo last year. But any glow from the personal highlight faded minutes later, as Duke's Robertson muscled himself an inch of room a few yards away from Maryland's cage, took a feed from Gutterding and whipped in the first of 4 straight Blue Devils goals that sealed the result. "You make one mistake, and a great player makes you pay," Tillman said. "Boy, if we had gotten that one and gotten it down and gotten it tied, I felt like we might have been able to ride that." Instead, Duke coach John Danofsky walked away with his 399th career victory and Kelly was left to navigate the underbelly of Gillette Stadium in his pads and jersey one final time. The senior was asked about Maryland's youth after the game, about Fairman and Wisnauskas and the other underclassmen who will be tasked with carrying the Terps back to another Final Four. Saturday was the team's 7th appearance in 8s. With Tillman's hand on his back, Kelly spoke of Maryland's bright future and offered the underclassmen one piece of advice. "It's a long journey," he said, "but it ends quick.